Okay, peace, love, and light, people. It's T here with another high T, and I have a special guest. We want to say supreme wellness to you all and
Yes,
an
wellness.
abundance of health and wealth. And my guest today is my friend Dionne, longtime childhood friend,
What's
like
up, guys?
cousin, sister, goddess, and in light and love. So we're here to talk about, chop it up, about the therapeutic aspects of cannabis and how it can help in your wellness journey, when healing from a diagnosis or something like that. A lot of people don't really know my cannabis story. I think I'll get into that another time. But I thank you for joining me. You want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Peace, peace, everyone. So, as Takesha mentioned, my name is Dionne. Most call me D, short for divine, because that's who I am and how I am. But, I'm so grateful to be here sharing this light with you, sis. I appreciate the extension to come out and share. Much appreciation, much gratitude. And I am looking forward to tonight, to today.
Right,
Because
right,
whenever you look at it, it may be the day. So
exactly.
Grand Rising.
Right. Right. And so I'm having a little, it is in the evening. Normally we're, in the day, but this is nice. It's a nice vibe, nighttime, light
Absolutely.
caps. So right. So I'm having today golden tea. And
Nice.
so yeah, the turmeric, reishi mushroom, cardamom, little cinnamon, um, and of course the sea moss. Have to add that
Yes,
in.
a few months.
Right. And then a little bit of it's infused with Neapolitan space cream. So yeah,
Y'all heard that
little
right.
drops. Little drops.
Neapolitan space cream.
Yeah.
Space cream. You heard that. Space cream.
Right. So, for those who,
Galactic.
you know, are interested in the strain, that's what it is. And so I like, it's a hybrid. So it has a little, balance of both.
That's nice.
As far as sativa and indica. So, without further ado, I've been, you've been on this wellness journey for a long time, and you have mentioned, you have revealed that people don't know that you had a diagnosis. Do you mind letting us know what that is?
Sure, and I'm gonna drop my water here real quick.
Mhm.
So, guys, since she introduced her tea, I'm going to introduce my water.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't do this because, we're not, there's just no sponsorship here. Okay.
No, there is.
um, but if you see this bottle, you know what it is. And I appreciate my water and glass bottles.
Mm, yeah, I gotta get in tune.
Get
I
into it. Get
I
into
gotta
it.
get in
Bougie
tune.
water.
Waters in glass water. I mean glass bottles.
Yeah.
Like yeah, the plastic bottles is not as hot.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It is. It's
You
all
can
good.
taste it. You can taste the.
Definitely can. We
Mm,
definitely.
mm-hmm.
So, I was diagnosed 4 years ago with MS. If you're not familiar with it, medical term is multiple sclerosis.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much that what it all entails is the myelin, which is a protective covering around one's nerve,
Mm-hmm.
that is starting to be, I use the term eaten away at, but it starts deteriorating. And what you would find, or what one would find, is that they have exposed nerves, and every case tends to be different. It'll affect some individuals where they lose mobility drastically, um, or it could riddle one's body with pain.
Mm-hmm.
There are also conditions that where it will interfere with one's vision,
Mm-hmm.
but pretty much there are lesions that show up inside the body,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's eating away at the myelin, the lesions. And we know, as or hopefully, but if you don't, we know that a lot of this stems from, of course, the environment, the environmental, some things we can't control because of our air that we have to breathe, the food
Right.
we drink, water, the food we have to eat, the water, liquid that we drink.
I see.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. And if our soil is nutrient deficient,
Mm,
it's just like we got to do as much as we can to stay on top of our health and nutrition. Um, so, so there was that part there, but there were lesions found in on the brain and in the spine, and around the neck, the back of the neck, around the spine area.
mm,
And that's pretty much the last time I've gone for where I had to do an MRI. So you have to do your cranial as well as your lumbar, your back, and do the entire spine. So yeah, I'm grateful to say that I have not had a flare up in 2 years.
mm.
2 years was the last time that I had to do, yes, all praise the Most High. Like Spirit's doing that. Okay. The universe definitely showed up, and it just, that's a whole nother talk and a whole nother conversation, I'm sure, but you can't have one without the other.
That's
Once
right.
you start to come in and tap into your fullness and awareness of self, and you start to take the time to master yourself, which
Mm,
is some awesome work that you're doing with us, Takesha. Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. I appreciate y'all joining.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. And you get to a point of self-mastery, and then you realize that you've been listening to lies. Or and that's a whole other conversation also. But the point is, it's like I had the diagnosis 4 years ago, and around the same time I was going through a journey. And you know what, sis? I didn't even recognize it to just now.
Mm,
I recognize that I got the diagnosis the same time I started to transition out of Christian church.
mm, mm.
Same time.
Wow.
That's big. That's whoa. Anyway.
Wow.
So yes, that's the diagnosis. And if I'm going too far, just pull me back in.
No, 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 because we want to know.
Yeah.
I know this. For me, you're describing some things, and I'm thinking about some pains and health issues I've been going through, and like, because
Yeah.
they'll give you the runaround about what's what it is until you have to put your own two and two together and be like, wait a minute, this is I've been feeling some things like that. I've
Well,
been
sis, I didn't, yeah, it's crazy. And I didn't even like touch on my apologies there.
that's
Touch on how we even got to the point of finding out about a diagnosis, because I'm not the kind of individual that goes to the doctor. I
right.
mean, I do if it's just like a physical. So I'm
Hmm.
usually at the doctor just once a year, and that's it. Just get the basic physical. They check your weight, you do your blood pressure, your blood work, and you go on about your business. So other than that annual, I never go. I was driving to work one day and my vision went on me, like literally within
Mm,
seconds. I had sight and it was gone. It was gone.
mm.
Going onto the highway. I was already on the ramp and I was right there. And I'm like, and it's just like, oh, I can't see, I can't see. What's going on? And I'm just like, what is happening? And I'm like, God, what is happening? In my mind, all is I'm praying that I'm covered. Like I need protection right now
Mm,
because I don't know who's behind me, who's coming fast, who's on the left of me, and there is no right because that's the ramp. That's it. It's
mm.
concrete. So that was crazy. But
That's scary, girl. You got through it.
yeah, but it was seconds, but those seconds, and when I mean seconds, it probably was like a 3-minute blink, just
Mm,
like that. And I was like, oh, what's going on? All right, so that's more than 3 seconds, probably like 5 to 6.
mm.
It felt like eternity.
Right.
It was, and this is why we always say, in the conversation within the metaphysical realm, what is time?
That's right.
What is
Right.
time?
That's right.
All we have is now.
That's right.
All we have is
That's
now.
right.
So that those seconds were so long. And long story short, went to the emergency room finally, and they gave me they said it like haphazardly. They didn't even care enough to tell someone in their 30s,
Mm.
okay, a mother, and I just had a baby. My little girl was probably 1 year old.
Mm.
And it's late. I was sitting in the hospital just waiting for someone to give me the results of the MRI. We were there for hours, like 3 hours, just to wait for someone to give. And I said, you know what? I'm getting out of here. It's late. It's after 1 o'clock in the rising. Well, at that time I didn't say the rising, but it was
Right.
after 1 o'clock, and we need to go home to our family. That's it. And we packed up, proceeded to leave. And then they came and they were like, "Oh, you can't. Well, you sure you want to go? We want to admit you." And I'm like, "Admit me for what? What's going on?" And they were like, "Oh, you have MS," just like that. So, "Oh, you have MS," and I was like, "Excuse me," because
Mm.
I knew I heard it before because of one of the actors. Is it Fox? Michael J. Fox?
Mm.
The actors that had MS, and excuse me if it's not him. My
No, I
apologies.
think he has uh
Different.
Parkinson.
Parkinson's. Okay, my bad. My apologies. Um, but
Hey.
yeah, so just having that moment there, and I'm like, okay, so here we are, and long story short, this is me just celebrating not having to do infusions. I had to do infusions in the hospital, 1,000 milligrams, and the normal is 60.
Mm.
If you're doing a treatment for MS, the physician said it's typically 60 milligrams because it's like a little cocktail, but this one is just that. And they wanted to go really strong and be more aggressive with it because of the vision part that happens and where the lesions were already placed and it just coming out of nowhere. And that's when I realized what food triggers it.
Mm.
So going back to nutrition, because it was Father's Day the day before, and we went out. We had dinner, the children, dad, and
Mm-hmm.
I had corn chips
Mm.
with some kind of meat. They did some kind of meat thing. It was really delicious, but for me, corn is a trigger.
Mm.
But corn is in just about everything. So it's really really big. But I'm like I said, celebrating that, and the diet change was definitely a difference. And
Right.
then of course the main topic for today and
Right.
the reason for this conversation,
Mm-hmm. Yes, cannabis.
herbal remedies. We both can't do something right now. You're sipping and I'm lighting. What's going
Right. Right. It's like, oh, by the way.
Had to bring it back in because I was just divulging.
No, but yes, this is pertinent information. Like we need to be aware. I mean, it is not a game out here, okay? With
Right.
what we have been taught and how we have been raised and what we have been used to doing and what has become a culture
Right.
of unwellness, of being okay with um illness, and just saying, oh, this is just how it is. No, it's not. And to be so young, we're in our prime and having to experience those things, we know
Right.
that where it's coming from now. Of course we knew then, but we weren't really aware, or we didn't know we had the power in that,
Exactly.
in changing that for ourselves. And so it is pertinent information for us to share this, to make those, out there that are unaware of what these symptoms could be,
Just true.
you're experiencing that, to go to the doctor,
Absolutely.
but hopefully we can give you some insight on cannabis and how that can help in areas of nerve pain and being
Yes.
able to relax. and being able to sleep, and things like that. So, how has it helped you in the area of um, first coping with that whole process?
So I was already even though I was a believer, at that time, I was more a believer in my word. And I meant word as in whatever I utter and whatever I believe, that's what it is. I don't care what they see. I don't care what they deem as fact, because
Right.
for the sake of medicine, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you what my fact is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have MS.
Right.
Today, people like, you have MS. I said, no, I don't have MS. I was diagnosed with it.
That's
You
right.
have the ability to reject whatever you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to accept it as your own, that's your business,
Right.
I don't recommend that. I would want for you to want more for yourself,
Right.
but it's a whole different flow right there. It takes a different consciousness and a different vibration to even, not just to be bold enough to say it, but to believe it and say it despite what you see before the naked eye. You have to see past that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to
Right.
see that.
That's right.
So I'm trying to go back to your question. I'm sorry, with coping. So for me, I used to love yoga. I mean, I still do. So let me go back. I used to love hot yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I started feeling pain, and it was, uncomfortable. And you know how they say we have a high tolerance for pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, try to work through it literally and figuratively. And then it got to a point where it was just getting worse. And I was going to yoga class, hot yoga, because I'm like, the heat, therapeutic, it'll help you. Because if you need to stretch, get that heat and to really get you going. And you don't have to worry about straining muscles since you're already sore at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, little did I know I was causing more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or that was the reason that the pain wasn't going away. It was getting heightened because I was putting my body in high temperatures of heat, which is not recommended for individuals who have MS. And I wanted to say that, if you realize like certain triggers, like you can't, when you take a shower, maybe you used to be able to tolerate a certain heat. And now if you do it too much, you're just like, oh, you feel that. And that's just because underneath the skin, there's no protection under some of those nerves there, and feel it. Feel it. So that was definitely, having the herbs to come through. At that time, I would I enjoyed to puff, indeed, I did, but I would like it as a tea. So I would have it as tea, infused, if you will. And the CBD, that was great. And of course, the beautiful thing is that you can have it with or without the THC.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about that if it's not available in your city, or permitted, if you will, as you are so blessed to have.
Right.
Or you have to definitely choose, of course, what's gonna be safe for you, but what does your body really need? What do you feel you require? And I feel like you go through trial, and I don't really think it's an error, not trial and error, but just trial and trial and trial.
Right. And you find what helps you.
Yes.
As
And
far
the
as,
method.
you can have a balance. Like some people like a 1-to-1, which is THC and CBD balance. And then some people don't want the THC at all, because they don't want the psychoactive effects, of the head high type feeling,
Right.
or the intoxication, some people would call it. And so as far as the CBD portion, you can also use it topically.
Right.
In an oil and things like that now, and that's available really
Just about every place.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
even, well, you know, I have the access to like CBD oil
Hmm.
myself. So, and for the topical piece, we've got like a mask with it in it. And I was like, I've never heard of a face mask with CBD in it. But
Hmm.
listen, it feels amazing. It feels so
Look,
good.
dip me in it and roll me around. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You heard it, fellas. No, I'm saying, because somebody, I felt it already. I felt you in advance that, and it rolled around. See, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Listen, you know,
You
I,
know what? If it's you, Takesha, if it's you, if this resonated in that very moment and that was your thought, you need to hit my sister or you need to drop a comment. This is being pre-recorded right now. So yeah, I felt you. You're nasty. No, I'm joking. No judgment whatsoever.
no,
This
no, no.
is all fun. This is all love.
But yeah, so as far as with the because I know for me with nerve pain, that's a different kind of pain. Like that, oh,
It's
that
excruciating.
there was nothing that was helping me in that area but to really eliminate all that I was eating. Like it was just like that's it because they wouldn't give me anything, narcotic. And I wasn't gonna keep doing the Tylenol. I can't do Motrin because of the stomach. The Tylenol started messing with my regularity, so I was like, I have to cut everything out. Period. And the one thing that I was able to go to was the CBD to coat my stomach, and at the same time distribute what needs to be distributed to help me kind of stay calm. It's a very body relaxing um,
Yes.
you know, tonic, I would say.
It's it's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's
Right,
earth.
right. So it's definitely, and you have to find your dose. Like,
No, this is
some
true.
things, I'll microdose, but some things you need more of, um, to help in that area because with nerve pain, I feel like you just have to wait until it subsides. There's no, you know,
Yeah, I
and you
call
have
it
to,
being
whatever's
under arrest.
aggravating it,
It,
you need to stop doing it. Right.
yeah, it's a terrible term to use, but it happened to me at work, and it was over the holiday season. And all I could do, I was leaned forward, and I could not move. Literally, I couldn't take a step because the pain was
Mm.
all in the legs, and it was to the point where it had me like on a rest. I was like, I can't move. I can't move. You literally, it's it really puts you in a state of being paralyzed in
Mm.
that very moment. Like I was walking, and I felt the burn a little bit, but I didn't think there was a burn because of the MS diagnosis. I'm thinking you're moving a lot and you're moving fast. It's the holiday season and people are shopping. I was a manager at this time, guys,
Mm.
and I was managing a grocery store,
Mm.
uh, one of our major supermarkets. I'm not gonna call their name.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just went and I just fell forward like I can't move. I
Mm.
knew that if I tried to stand up, it was good. I felt it. The pain hits you in a way where leaning in certain position, even though you still feel this pain, this is exactly where you need to stay. Don't move from right there.
Mm.
And I knew not to move from right there to stay leaning forward. I couldn't if I wanted to anyway. I could not move. Some like people had to kind of lift me from the sides and kind of hop me over to the back
Wow.
until I could try to shuffle myself a little bit. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's real. It's really real.
Wow. And so that was it. That was like the decision.
That was that was it. That was the deal breaker. I was like, oh, I can't go through that again. And that's when I think I had my first intravenous treatment at home. They allowed me to do it at home. And I said, man, I mean, I respect nurses and phlebotomists. and all of everyone who just does the work, in a medical field that truly are about helping the people. Let's be clear.
Right. We thank you.
Yes, much appreciation. Much
Yes. Yeah.
appreciation.
Yeah.
And so, having to do that, but you don't want to do that all the time. In fact, not even want to. They already said you don't want to do this again. This shouldn't be used more than 2 years. I mean, less than 2 years. If you again, it's like then you really need to have like medication, something like that. So no, I don't need that. I even told the physician they couldn't stand me, bless them, and they were like, "You really should try this, and that." Okay, well, what are the side effects? That's my first question. You can tell me, oh, this will fix it. What are the side effects?
Right.
And when you have to consider receiving a treatment that will cause other things needing to be treated, you really need to take the time and reflect on if that's the best choice for you. And I knew automatically that it was not. I had children to go back home to. I had a purpose to fulfill.
Right. Right.
And that's just it. So I was not about to try something that they honestly weren't sure of how my body would take to it, because each case and every individual is different.
Right. Right.
But I was still young. I mean, I wasn't even 35.
Wow.
What was I?
Right.
Yes. I wasn't 35 yet.
Right.
That year would have been my 35th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So then the diagnosis was a little more than 4 years, almost hitting 5 years. So that's pretty much like how that whole thing flowed there, with getting to, or that being the catalyst of getting me to have more to be more in control of what my pain management could look like.
That's right.
Because like you, I did not want to continue to have to take over-the-counter pain medication and need it constantly.
Right.
Like I needed more than the normal dose, or I was looking to have pain relief before the dose was needed again. So that doesn't do well for the stomach at all.
No. So, like you said, the side effects, and so the side effects of it, and that's the thing. So, I'm glad that you were able to, utilize cannabis in your wellness journey. And so, a fellow Black woman who blazes, I just want to ask a few questions about which do you prefer, the THC or the CBD?
Oh, I prefer. Well, when I can, let me just be clear here, because where I live, but when I can, I prefer THC all day.
Okay.
I do. Ironically enough, I'm not. I know some people that have like edible delivery. You can have it that way. I have not had that. When I liked it, because I'm not a brownie girl.
Right.
That's usually, when you can get it, like some dispensaries, they'll have it. And yeah.
Right. And that was the thing too, because with me infusing it, it couldn't always be something sweet. Like it's just like a cookie, a brownie, a candy, a gummy. And so, I had to utilize it in a way where I could have it in my meals, in savory meals, or if I want soup or what have you. Excuse me. Then, so it's a healthier, ingestion, and not just, sugar and calories.
Right.
As well. So coconut oil, or grapeseed oil, avocado oil, you can infuse those.
That's good.
Well. And, be able to, utilize it in your cooking or dressing or vinaigrettes, whatever type of thing. So that's a good option.
I'm like, oh, it sounds good.
That's a good option. So, but do you prefer sativa or indica?
You know what? I'm gonna let you pick the one you think it is.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna tell you if you're right or wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna say indica.
I do. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right.
Sativa's nice if you have work to do.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Sativa. I thought I was gonna be. I was like, no, I'm a sativa. Mm-mm. Sativa is if, like you said, when you have work to do.
Yeah.
Yes, but for me to be able to chill, I need it. I'm an indica girl too.
Yeah.
I've learned. I've learned.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so, are you more of an open advocate, for cannabis, or like discreet? You keep it discreet.
I would say discreetly open.
Right. Because I know, for me, becoming a certified cannabis advocate, I want to, affect policy change and reform and try to, especially, have access to when you're a patient or a recreational, be able to grow
Right.
yourself. So that way you're in more control over your end result in which it's in it exactly, because
This is
at the
true.
end of the day, it's what they tell you, so
This is true, but that's what also makes it scary. It's
yes,
what they tell you. So
right.
where's your freedom of choice
That's right.
to say what's good for your temple, what's good
Yes,
for
yes, yes, yes,
and that's why, individuals like yourself and that carrying that mantle and really making that a living, breathing
hmm
thing for us,
yeah,
and this is not to abuse a thing. This
no,
is truly for medicinal purposes,
hmm
to even if it has to coincide with what a doctor prescribes. No one here is saying, you know, don't follow your doctor's recommendations.
right. By
No,
no means
absolutely
are
not.
we, disclaimer, we are not,
We
we
probably should have said
are
that in the
their
beginning.
practitioners.
Yes, definitely not. I'm speaking from a personal experience,
Exactly.
and that alone, and
hmm
that alone. To each his own. You do what feels good to you, and but definitely having that conversation with your physician if you feel something happening, or if you've
Right.
already received diagnosis and you're thinking you're recognizing a flare up or a trigger with anything, whatever your diagnosis may be. Definitely call the nurse's line or directly to the physician and get an evaluation again if you have to, and just mention that. I think that's really important.
Right.
I've done it.
Right.
I've done it
Right.
because okay, you can. I just think it's more wise for one to show up if you really are talking about the conversation of self and
Mhm.
taking care of self. It also involves checking in on the things that you can't see with the natural eye.
That's right.
I can't see lesions on the brain
That's right.
or on the spine.
That's
But just because now that they've seen it, thanks to technology, and they bring it to your awareness with the diagnosis and results, now you use your wisdom to take some of those things that you do, that I do from day to day. What I was doing, I changed my eating completely,
That's right.
instantly. Instantly, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have any red meat. I'm not gonna eat any. I'm just gonna go vegetarian. Not knocking anyone that eats meat,
hmm
or now I'm vegan, so not even knocking someone that eats meat or has dairy or
Right.
animal byproduct. But I just know for me, based upon research, that we know, and this is a known fact. So I'm not saying anything that you won't read in a book yourself, but
Right.
we know that inflammation is a major cause. Once in the temple,
Mm.
it's a major cause to a lot of dis-ease.
That's right. That's right. That's
Dis-ease.
right.
Okay, that's just a reality. So, with that being said, I knew, because I was really big on eating healthy as much as I can and really appreciating the kitchen. So, when you appreciate the kitchen, you understand how to cook, how your food reacts. what happens. So I knew what inflammation, or what foods I should say, will help keep inflammation in the body, will cause it to stay and not get it out. So I just said, you know what, let's shift that. Let me change up how I'm eating and we incorporate some more things and start to make a difference. And when you start to focus to make the difference, you see the difference.
That's right. That's right.
And that's it.
That's right. That's right. Now, what do you say to those, because you mentioned inflammation as well, and they say there's studies that have shown that cannabis can cause inflammation in the body for some. So, maybe, for me, I feel like it may be the way it's consumed,
Yes.
smoking.
So once it's lit,
Mm-hmm.
once you lighted a fire.
Right.
once you light it up, but that is when it becomes considered toxic, for lack of a better term. So you definitely want to, as I would say, eat the medicine, versus smoking your medicine. That's it, versus puffing. There are other ways, like you mentioned, ingesting it via food, or, cooking via the oils. I know that some CBD, you'll find it in like drinks, like CBD limeade. I've seen it somewhere before.
Yeah, tinctures and drops. You have, they have drops you can just drop.
I take drops.
Right, concentrates, certain concentrates. So also I prefer, for me, with the smoking, I've started to, invest in apparatuses that give me the clean smoke, more of the vapor.
Yeah.
And so that helps with not having that combustible hot flame, come in. But for when the inflammation is really bad, then like you said, I go more towards just eating or ingesting it that way. Or maybe even, listen, girl, I get the rubbing. Like get in there, get in there, heal from the inside out, both.
I'm with it.
Right.
I'm with it.
So
and it's so good for the skin.
I'm definitely, an advocate for healing in a natural way, as natural as possible. And we know that the herb is just that. I don't use it. It's no different than rosemary for me with cooking, or sage, except, just for me, not the kids, but.
No, I understand. Absolutely.
For me, some people are like, did she be cooking for the kids? Do they be lit? No. So
I'm sitting here, so I've got one of my little apparatus, not even one of, like I've got plenty.
yes.
Okay.
That's a whole nother video,
We don't need a whole bunch. But yeah, I'm just doing some regular CBD, and I just put like the little CBD bud in there, and that's it.
Right. Exactly.
It's a clean burn, because there's no THC in that.
Right.
So that makes it a lot different.
Yeah.
But the point is, I do like to smoke. I do prefer it. I love the feeling of it. Love the whole vibe.
Right.
Other than that, I would drink it. I would probably have it like just hot tea.
Right.
Like some peppermint or something like that.
Yes. I love the tea. This is high tea. And so I enjoyed this time with you. I appreciate it. We had some hiccups with the, video, platform, but this is how we do. You jumped on it and came. And so for anyone who has, who's interested in, the therapeutic side of cannabis, and no, you don't just have to use it recreationally, but if you're interested in the therapeutic side, I suggest that you speak with your physician and, talk about it, and then, get your medical record and find a registered, licensed medical, getting it. Marijuana, medical marijuana. Goodness, doctor. It's the tea, guys. It's the tea. I'm late. Exactly. So I suggest that you get your medical records and you see a medical marijuana physician and get you a card. Get you a card, and if your state is one you can grow your own. You know, that's what I definitely advocate for. Take
Come
care of
on.
yourself, yeah, right. Take care of your wellness, supreme wellness, abundance of wealth and health.
Absolutely. Peace, peace. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing.
No, thank you.
All right. Peace, guys.
Okay. How am I the host now? Okay.